So in this one, I'm working on leading Atlas through the gate. So this is the gate to my arena, and then his pastures up here on the left, and then I have like my wash rack and barn, and then this is just like the yard, and he gets turned out here. It is fenced in, and like you can see, he gets a little tight there. I'm kind of just working on him going through and not
I'm playing
walking
the
through with it on his
music.
own, or walking through and turning around on his own, just walking through slowly and stopping when I ask him to. Um, and he's not necessarily afraid of gates, but it's a little bit claustrophobic for him. He backs up really well. And I just have a piece of twine gone like threaded through the halter, like half through, so I can just hold on to one piece. You can use like the end if like you have an old training stick or like a really thin lead rope, just something that it would like if he were to run off, I'm just gonna like hold on to one end and it'll just slide through, or I could just let go and it'll slide off. Doesn't matter. Um, I also have a short crop, which he only knows as a target, so I'm using that as a target and just working on some leading out here. So what I did for a really long time was just let him at liberty, and he does know how to lead on the lead rope, and we've only done that in the round pen and the arena though. So if he were to get afraid, he would be confined. He's still confined, but this is just a bigger space. So this is just like the next step in doing that. So I'm just working on the gate a little bit more, having him follow me, working on those tactile cues. So the pressure from the piece of twine or your lead rope. So going forward, backward, right, left, whatever. So that's what we're working on here. I have the backpack I'm wearing is because I forgot that it was on. So here I was also asking him to stop, and he just kind of swung around instead. So I'm just gonna ask him to come back around and try that again. Gotta turn around here. But um, I usually bring that with like all my training stuff in it, and I apparently just forgot it was on me. So that's why I'm wearing a backpack like a weirdo. But anyway, so he wanted to kind of go through first and then like turn and face me. So I was just kind of working on him, like work on the tactile cue, and then if that wasn't working, working with the target, because that's something he definitely knows. There we go. So getting him just to kind of stop next to me. And just those ropes, like even though twine's not necessarily a rope, he thought it was a rope. Ropes kind of freaked him out a little bit, and he'd want to just go forward and not stop. And so he was a little bit worried about that. He's still pretty new to the leading. This was a new place. He had to go through a gate. It was like all these things that aren't a big deal for most horses are a big deal for Atlas. So again, he kind of wants to swing around and face me, which is really not a big deal. But we can just go ahead and practice in the
You
gate
turn
again. I
around.
want him just following
Turn
me.
around.
And mostly what I want to get through with this video is just that for specifically for Mustangs or really sensitive horses, breaking things down is really important. So I wanted to show that I also did the same kind of training process like in my yard here. So it wasn't just I assumed that he would do it because he did it in the round pen and he did it in the arena. It was like we trained this and we tried this out, and I lead him around here so that he understands and he generalizes that leading is leading regardless of where it is. And this is much better. He actually stopped here. He would get a little worried under this tree too, and he'd want to turn and face it, so he wasn't like right underneath it. So I just wanted to show that process specifically with the Mustangs. It can be tough to like train them and take them out. Lots of them want to like run away and have a hard time with leading and stuff like that. So specifically out here for him, he wanted to go and graze. So it wasn't about necessarily running away, but he was so used to me letting him out to graze that I needed to work on keeping his attention and having him lead and stuff. So, but I'm just having him go through his gate and then see him just kind of pulling that line out, and then I'll pop his halter off and he can go back in his pasture. But I just wanted to show that I'm training all these little pieces. So I should have put some food on the ground there. He knows how to back up. Um, all of these little things are really important. So he's got all the pieces to be successful. It wasn't I just assumed that he would do it and then we just went and did it and hope for the best. For some horses, I can lump things together that like if I was training like more of a domestic horse, I'd be like, okay, well he's generalizing well leading in these environments, so he'd probably be okay leading in this environment. But for sensitive horses, wild horses, you got to do everything very broken down in little steps. So that's why I'm showing all this. But yeah, I trained it just like everything else. Lots of use of the target was really, really important.